Amid the recent escalation in the Russia-Ukraine war, the U.S. called on both sides to return to the negotiating table.
Now, the war on Ukraine has entered the fifth year, which has recorded the highest number of civilian casualties. The U.S. statements come after UN officials warned that drone warfare was inflicting mounting civilian casualties and transforming daily life near the front line. UN Aid Chief Tom Fletcher, who visited Ukraine last week, described parts of Kherson as a dystopian landscape of kill zones and kamikaze drones. U.S. representative to the UN, Dan Negria, has said that Washington is prepared to help facilitate talks between Moscow and Kyiv.
The United States remains committed to Ukraine's future as a sovereign and prosperous nation. We join President Trump in continuing to call for an immediate ceasefire and good faith negotiations to end the Russia-Ukraine war and return peace and stability to both countries. Death continued to mount, strike after strike. We call on both sides to end any strikes that target or risk damaging civilian vessels.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has also dropped a hint on talks with Moscow. He said there will be a diplomatic track with Russia on the attacks in the Black Sea that have curbed Ukraine's export capabilities. He also added several countries would be involved in the negotiations.
A few countries will work on this. There's a diplomatic process. A negotiation track will take place with the Russians. Also, there is protection in the format of strengthening the air defenses of the grain corridor.
Now, Ukraine celebrates its 35th Independence Day. Allies pledge to keep up their support amid Russia's escalating attacks and despite threats from Moscow. Air defense supplies were the main priority at the meeting of 30 leaders of the so-called Coalition of the Willing. The meeting was jointly chaired by France and Germany and the United Kingdom.
Now, UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham was in Kyiv along with other European leaders and EU Council President Antonio Costa. Bloomberg has reported that Andy Burnham and other European leaders plan to visit US to seek Patriot missiles for Ukraine next month.
Now, Ukraine has also signed a deal to provide Britain access to Avengers, an AI data set containing millions of battlefield images. Now, this data set is used to train autonomous drones. The UK PM has said that the data could help protect airports, prisons, railways, and critical energy sites.
In the meeting of the Coalition of the Willing, French President Emmanuel Macron warned the European countries that Russia will try to escalate against countries helping Kyiv. Joining remotely, Macron also calls for Kyiv's allies to increase the fight against Russia's shadow fleet.
Now, as the European Commission pledges to continue supporting Ukraine, it has provided a further $7.12 billion in financial aid for the war-torn country. And this fund will help Ukraine to procure new defense systems such as air defense, missiles, ammunition, and radars.
Amid the renewed support for Ukraine, Russia has warned the United Kingdom. The Kremlin said that the Britain has been preventing peace in Ukraine by giving Kyiv information needed to produce Scalp long-range missiles. Moscow has also threatened to destroy plants manufacturing Scalp missiles.
More than 50 UN member states urged Russia to accept a full and unconditional ceasefire in Ukraine. Countries have also urged Moscow to return to talks aimed at lasting peace.
At a time when the war is escalating on a day-to-day basis, Ukraine received 10 of its soldiers in the latest prisoner exchange with Russia. Zelensky said that the servicemen from the army and National Guard had fought in the Donetsk region and had been considered missing in action. Amid a growing demand for negotiations, this is being seen as a channel for humanitarian cooperation as well as a way out for formal peace talks.